Hey, and welcome to Living in Lansing, Michigan, where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything in between with life here in Lansing and the greater mid-Michigan area. Before I forget, don't forget to like this video, follow our channel here on YouTube, and turn on the little notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the information we share about life here in Lansing and the greater mid-Michigan area. And today we're going to jump in and talk about what projects you should consider doing and what projects don't make any sense in this market. In 2025, we're in a strong seller's market, and a lot of projects you may otherwise consider won't make sense financially. So let's jump in and let's talk about the projects you should and shouldn't do if you are preparing your house to sell in 2025. So you're considering selling your home in 2025, and you're probably starting with a mental checklist of, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And on that list is questions like, should I remodel the kitchen? What about the primary bathroom? Maybe I should change out the flooring or repaint the whole house. What about the landscaping outside? The lists go on and on of all the projects we could tackle, but what projects should we tackle and what projects are going to get you the best return on investment? That's what we're talking about today. Stick around to the end of the video and I will tell you what I think the biggest bang for your buck will be when you consider doing projects to get your house ready to sell. So you're asking yourself, this dated kitchen that you maybe have, what should I do with it? Do I do a full kitchen remodel? Should I be tearing out cabinets and putting in new countertops and brand new appliances? And the answer is almost assuredly no, no, no. Kitchen remodels historically return 80 cents or less on the dollar invested. So maybe you do a $50,000 remodel and you might see a $30,000 or $40,000 return on investment if you're lucky. And in this seller's market that we find ourselves in 2025 in mid-Michigan, you don't have to do a whole lot to get a lot of activity on your home. Kitchen remodels are expensive, they need to be done professionally, and they don't return a lot of money on your investment. So rather than considering and then undertaking a full kitchen remodel, which includes tearing everything out and rebuilding the whole kitchen, consider a facelift to your kitchen. If you have cabinets, maybe those old oak cabinets that don't appeal to most people today, consider just a paint job. Simple white paint and new cabinet knobs can make a world of difference in your kitchen, and the return on that investment can be quite good. Freshening up the look of an older, dated kitchen makes a lot of sense, but doing a complete gut remodel usually makes no sense. The second thing I want to talk about is that big bathroom remodel. Let's not touch the primary bathroom unless it's truly in awful shape, because again, it's a big ticket item and it rarely returns more than 80 cents on the dollar. So while you may consider doing some small items in your primary bathroom, don't consider doing that big remodel, with few exceptions. The same goes for the kitchen. There may be some exceptions to the rule, but overall, let the next person tackle the kitchen remodel. Let the next person redo the primary bathroom. If you're considering doing either of those, make sure you talk to your real estate professional first to make sure that the project you're going to undertake and that money you're going to invest is really going to pay off in the long run. Sometimes it will, but most of the time it's not going to, and it's going to cost you time as you wait to get those projects done before you can list and get on the market. So maybe you are going to consider doing some work in your kitchen or in that primary bathroom. Just remember, keep it simple, make it fresh, modern, and make it pop. We want people to walk in and go, ooh. We don't want people to walk in and go, ugh. So small changes can make a big difference. Do the facelift, maybe paint the cabinets, maybe add new cabinet hardware. Maybe we change out a light fixture or two. The same for that primary bathroom. A fresh light fixture above the vanity and maybe a new towel bar or two and some fresh paint can do wonders and keep our budget low, maybe in the $500 to $1,000 range versus a full bathroom remodel, which will cost $20,000 and up, and a full kitchen remodel, which usually costs $40,000 and up. So while you're considering what projects to do and not to do, keep in mind that simple things can have a big impact. Light fixtures, trim plates, a little bit of fresh paint can go a long ways to making a kitchen or a primary bathroom feel new, fresh, and really inviting to the new owners. Last thing, you're doing that kitchen minor remodel or facelift. Do we need to touch the appliances? A new appliance suite can cost upwards of $5,000 or $6,000. and it probably doesn't make sense to replace all the appliances. We'd like them to be the same color and matching, so all white appliances or all stainless or dark stainless, whatever it may be. However, if the appliances are in relatively good shape and relatively clean, it doesn't make sense to replace them. You're not going to see a return on the investment for a whole new appliance suite when what you have already is sufficient. So keep that in mind when you're doing that kitchen facelift. You probably shouldn't be doing the appliances. Now, if you've got that really old range and it's beat up and not in great shape, and you can just replace that and keep it the same color as the rest of the appliances in the kitchen, that can make a lot of sense. So keep that in mind. You may want to do 1 or 2 appliances if they're old and not in great shape and not very clean, but otherwise usually just a good cleaning and sell what you have. Okay, so we talked about the kitchen and the main bathroom in the house. Those are the most expensive remodel projects you can usually take upon yourself, and they don't make sense to do in most cases. But what about the little details through the house? They can matter and they can make a big difference. We don't need to go crazy wild replacing every little trim plate and every doorknob and every plumbing fixture. That can add up very quickly. What we want to do is tactically address things in high visibility areas. Keep this in mind when you're selling your home and getting ready to sell your home. We've got 3 chances to wow people with a first impression. When they drive up, that's going to be your curb appeal. When they walk up to your front door, that's the walk up curb appeal. How does it feel as they approach the house? And then the third thing, what is that first impression when they open the door and they walk into your home? Make those first impressions count. Spend our money wisely so that when we have those first impressions, driving up, and walking into the home, we are wowing a potential buyer. So maybe it makes sense to change out that front door handle. Let's put a fresh handle set, lock set on that front door, something that looks good, it's modern, it's clean, and it works well. Maybe it makes sense to change out that hanging chandelier in the front entryway, or make sure all of our trim plates on our electrical switch plates and outlets are the same color. They're lined up well, they look good. Those small details can make a lot of impact to a potential buyer. However, we don't need to go crazy and do it throughout the entire house necessarily. Hit the prime areas. That's your living room, your kitchen, and your primary suite. Those areas are where people spend most of their time, and it's where they want to have a really awesome space when they buy a new home. Again, your living room, your kitchen, and your primary suite. Spend your time and attention and your budget there, and that way we get the biggest return on investment and we help your house sell as fast as possible for top dollar. Okay, so let's talk about that curb appeal. When people drive up to your home, they're judging it right away. How does it look and how does it feel when they walk up to the front door? Well, you should spend some time and some money working on that curb appeal. Let's make sure the lawn is mowed. If it's a winter listing, let's make sure the snow is shoveled. If it's a fall listing, let's make sure all the fall cleanup's done and there's not leaves everywhere. Let's do a little bit with our flower beds, clean them up, freshly mulch them, and add a little color. A couple of potted plants set out on the front doorstep, or maybe once we have mulched the beds, we plant some new color there to give the front of the house that curb appeal, that walk-up first impression wow feel. We want to make sure there's no weeds, the lawn is trimmed, any bushes are trimmed. We want to make sure that that house is really appealing for the drive up and the walk up first impression. Okay, so the last 2 things that we're going to address, do we do flooring and do we do paint? And the answer is, it depends. If your flooring is beat up, if it's dirty, if it can't be brought back to life by a good cleaning, we for sure want to consider doing the flooring, especially carpets. Usually get a return on investment and it'll usually help generate more offers. Should we do the paint is the second question, and the answer is, again, it depends. How do our walls look? Do we have really aggressive colors? Are they really dark? Do we have a lot of damage to the walls? If we have dark aggressive colors, if we have really damaged walls, we should address those if we're able to. So if your carpet and other flooring is in good shape, it's relatively clean, it's not super worn in the high traffic areas, we don't need to address it. A deep cleaning will be sufficient. The same for the walls. If we have relatively neutral colors and the walls aren't damaged, let's not invest time and money to fixing those up. Let's put our money elsewhere. Okay, so what about all the little stuff in your home that may draw your attention or potential buyers? Maybe the fixtures in the bathroom are a little bit worn from years of use. There's lots of little things that show that a house has been lived in that probably aren't worth addressing. Remember, focus on the main areas of the living room, the kitchen, and the primary suite. And don't focus on little details in 3rd and 4th bedrooms or hidden in the corner of your basement. Make sure we're spending our time and our monies in the areas that are most important to potential buyer. And buyers are going to know this is a lived-in home. It's not going to be perfect, and they're not going to expect perfection. So while we might have a series of small defects or things that you don't like, the average buyer in this market does not have the availability of homes to choose from where they can be super picky about every small detail being flawless. So again, focus on the primary areas and stay away from nitpicking yourself to death by filling every nail hole and fixing every little scuff and ding in the house. All right, so we're almost done here. I told you stick around to the end. I'm going to tell you where you get the best bang for your buck. First and foremost, again, that drive up and walk up first impression is critical. So consider making your front door and the front door area, whether you've got a stoop or a covered porch, really attractive. And that can be done by simply a fresh coat of paint on your front door. Don't go wild with your colors, but also a boring, bland color, if the rest of the house is relatively boring and bland, is not the ticket. Give it a little pop of color, make it interesting. Make people want to walk in with an inviting neutral color that contrasts a little bit with your siding and or your trim. That's my first tip. Second, we have to declutter a house and deep clean it. Decluttering is critical and depersonalizing is critical. Doesn't mean you need to take down all your family photos, but we want it to be tastefully decorated with not too much stuff out. We don't want the walls covered with everything. We want the next potential homeowner to be able to visualize their belongings, their personal pictures on the wall. So declutter and always a deep clean. And a deep clean means the top of baseboards, the top of ceiling fans, everywhere, and really a deep clean in your kitchen is critical. The cabinets, the appliances, the sink, especially under the sink, people get nosy and look there. So most important thing and the best return on your investment is going to be making sure we declutter and really deep clean a home to prepare it for the most possible traffic we can get and to generate the most offers possible. Okay, let's recap it. What should you not be doing when you're preparing your house to sell here in 2025? Really, in any seller's market, we need to avoid big, expensive projects like full kitchen remodels, full bathroom remodels, and massive investments in landscaping. Just don't return the money you need. Focus instead on small improvements that will really grab the attention of a potential buyer and only fix those things that are truly worn out and require fixing. Heavily worn carpet, walls that have been abused and have holes and damage and aggressive paint colors. And then on the outside, we want to make sure our landscaping is clean, simple, and inviting so that when people drive up and walk up to the home, it looks good and invites them in. Now, you may be asking yourself, what's the line? What do I do here and what do I not do here? Well, that's what we're here for. Contact us here at the Mitten Home Team and we will come out and we will walk through your home and we'll provide a list of those recommended projects that will first and foremost return money on your investment, and second, help your house sell quicker and for more money. Other projects may be fun to do, but they don't return you money on your investment. You probably shouldn't be doing them. And remember, don't forget, decluttering and deep cleaning is absolutely the most important thing you do as you prepare your home for sale. So again, John Douglas here with the Mitten Home Team. Remember, if you haven't already, like this video, follow us here on YouTube, turn on the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the information we share about life here in Lansing and the greater mid-Michigan area. So if you're considering selling your home in 2025 or beyond, make sure to give us a call. We're going to come out and consult with you, make recommendations on what projects, upgrades, and maintenance needs to be done so that you can sell quickly for top dollar and get a good return on investment for any projects you choose to undertake. We're here to simplify the home selling process for you and provide our expertise so you're not guessing about what projects make the most sense.